Great to see all of us, all of you here, back again on our fourth week. And this week is about EQ and SQ, two important elements of it: emotional quotient and spiritual quotient. Our first week was meditation. Second week, we understood how we gain perfect health and energy and intelligence, PQ and IQ. Then, based on that foundation, then we understand how can I maximize whatever I take up. How can I maximize the outcome into it? How can I maximize the experience of it? Which is all about manifestation. Individually, I can do something. Now, can I enhance it? Can I maximize that experience? Where can I focus my thoughts and feelings onto something particularly? And so that's the manifestation of the week. Now, whatever that I can achieve individually, if I can achieve this much, and we know that when we do it with a lot of people, then we can achieve a lot. We can multiply that experience of life significantly when we can work with more and more people, with more and more places. We have affinity and say, I can only do my business in Bangalore. I can only do it only in Chennai. You know what? Chennai is the best place. But can we extend our openness to work in any other place? Right? When we can be with more and more people or places or things, then we can enhance our experience of life. Emotional intelligence is all about that. Is about enhancing our relationships and is about building those friendships and hence enhance experiences to celebrate life more and more. Emotional intelligence is about self-expression, is about first self-awareness, moment-to-moment understanding of what's happening to me. Then recognizing that, okay, there are certain things that give me happiness, then expressing that very firmly, gently. Emotional intelligence is inspiring. As we start doing things that we love to do, then we start inspiring others to in whatever we do. As we start doing, when you express, then you start getting what you want, then you start doing it, then you inspire others. And as you inspire others, then you start working with more and more people, then you have a lot of empathy for them, and then eventually recognize that your experience are multiplied with many people by automatically engaging actively. There is a whole science which we learn from it on Wednesday. But however, before we understand how this emotional intelligence can be developed in our brain, let's understand a concept called learning, doing, being. How the brain is learning to learn things, to learn anything, how his brain itself is learning. We have to understand that. Because emotional intelligence, in many ways, is about learning various things into our brain, into our body. And so it sort of helps to understand how the brain itself is learning. Knowledge is precursor to the experience, and meditation is fundamental for maximizing the experience. Knowledge is precursor to the experience. When you have more knowledge, then we can think of experiencing something because we can do it. For example, only when you learn how to make the Italian pizza can you think of actually making it. When you make it, then you get an experience. So knowledge is precursor to the experience. And then meditation will help us to maximize that experience. Whatever that we're experiencing at that point, being very mindful and then looking for opportunities while we're doing that experience. Classic case, if you're traveling, you got a middle seat in a flight, before meditation will be cribbing. I'm in the middle, I get squeezed. But with meditation, now you're very open about it and say, I got an opportunity to interact with two people, left side and right side. How about that? On one where we shrink the experience, and other side where we expand the experience to maximize it. So meditation is fundamental to maximize the experience, whereas knowledge is precursor to the experience, because knowledge will help us to actually get to doing more. So we'll understand this knowledge about this whole learn to be. When we do that, then whatever that we are going through with people or things will become more and more clear. The whole program, 6 week program, is about that. We are demystifying a lot of meditation in as much of as many knowledge ways that's something that we can absorb. So that when you learn various aspects of meditation is demystified, then you can actually start practicing it. Learning to doing, you can start practicing it, and slowly it becomes our second nature. So, dear friends, our brain is infinitely intelligent, and all our emotional intelligence is related to the three parts of the brain. And a lot of this emotional intelligence comes by taking more and more knowledge about what does it mean to be compassionate, what does it mean to be empathetic, what does it mean to have friendships, what is a relationship. A lot of this knowledge, a lot of meditative books or spiritual books that we learn are mostly half are about health and half are about relationships, are this knowledge which is dealing with qualities of humans. So very clearly, if we can apply the knowledge that we learn, a lot of times we do not know how to apply, and as a result, then even though we learn, we not timely can utilize it because we're not applied. So the learn do be concept, which we'll understand today, should give us enough idea of that. Why am I taking what I'm taking, and then how can it be come to my handy when I'm learning various things. We've been told about a lot of subjects at school under the gamut of service are helping people under the moral science, or there are various kinds of things where we've been taught, but then many of them we don't apply, and we'll understand some of how the brain is working. So before that, let's go into our meditation once again. Relax yourself, sit comfortably. We have been practicing the manifestation visualization part of the meditations for the last 4 days. Today, we just revert back to our breath mindfulness meditation only. So we're going to spend more time emptying ourselves. So our meditation goes first with heart elevation, where you want to feel that heightened emotion of heart for a few minutes. And the more we can feel that emotion by living or reliving that experience, either from the past or from the future, we are slowing our brain down, and it's giving us an opportunity to become empty faster. That's the whole idea of why we're doing heart elevation, slowing the brain down, emptying ourselves, or becoming one with the or I. And as a result, we sort of merge into this emptiness pretty quickly. Then breath mindfulness meditation for sufficient amount of time, and then we're expressing gratitude. Those of you who are new, we are doing simple anapanasati meditation or breath mindfulness, where you're mindful of your breath for the whole duration of the meditation. Our goal is to empty the mind of the thousands of thoughts. When we observe our normal, natural breath, take any point on the nose, preferably at the root of the nose, right here, middle of the eyebrows. That's where the breath eventually culminates and stops there when it starts becoming lighter, lighter. So when you observe the breath, natural breath, slowly the breath becomes lighter, shorter, and then becomes almost to a point becomes non-existent. And as it is happening, as it's becoming lighter, our thoughts also are slowly, slowly coming down. There's an equation. So when you observe the breath, our mind becomes empty. And in the process of observing, sometimes we get distracted and our attention goes back to the thought. And when it does, when you recognize your thinking, come back to observing the breath again. That's all is the technique of meditation. And as you are observing, as you're becoming lighter, as you're becoming empty of the thoughts, slowly you may experience various sensations in the body or the mind. Movement, sensations of any of those feelings can be experienced, and then simply be a witness to all of that. Be a witness, simply be an observer without analyzing any of them, and then stay with them. At the end of the meditation, you get a chance to recollect them, and that's how the meditation ends. So we do not interpret any of the experiences during meditation. Why is this pain coming? Why is this body moving? Why is this electric current I am feeling? All of them we do not interpret, but simply observe. The whole trick of this whole meditation is to train our brain to stop analyzing and then just start following through as you observe the breath, whatever that happens to you. Right. So this is called breath mindfulness meditation, where the posture is simple, just the way you're sitting on the chair. Cross your feet at ankle, cross your feet at ankle, fingers into fingers, and then rest your hands comfortably in your lap. Close your eyes, remove the specs. That's the posture. And before we're going into this Anapanasati meditation, where we're doing something called heart elevation process, follow my guidance actively for this heart elevation, where the crux of the process is to experience and heighten emotion in our heart. Relax yourself, sit comfortably. For the whole duration, I'll be playing music and also guiding. With your eyes closed, scan your body, observe every part of your body from head to toe. Relax. Dear friends, dear masters, with your eyes closed, specs removed, keep your hands on your chest area. Rest your attention on your breath and on your sacred heart. Take a slow, long, relaxing breath. And can you feel your beautiful heart? Breathe more of that slow, long, relaxing breath. And can you feel your heart center, that seat of all emotions, which is expanding all life with its emotional energy of love, gratitude, compassion, kindness. Breathe in into your heart center of that slow, long, relaxing breath and feel your beautiful heart. I want you to bring up an experience from your past of love, of gratitude, of compassion. And can you relive that experience at this time and fill up your heart center with that emotion? Or bring up an experience or event from your future as if it's happening for you at this time. Come on, feel that emotion inside that beautiful heart. Come on, friends, relive that experience from your past, or live that moment, or that experience from your mind movie, from your future. And can you feel that emotions of love, gratitude, compassion, kindness, or whatever?
The king
Feel more
of the tribe.
of that emotion inside your beautiful heart. And allow it to radiate beyond your body onto all things and everybody. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. The more we can feel that emotion, dear friends, recognize, the more we experience oneness with all things and everybody in that experience. We are all deeply interconnected in this quantum energy field. Love, gratitude, compassion, kindness are all the ways to experience that oneness again, to become one with all things again. And as you are experiencing that oneness, I want you to slowly go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, rest your hands comfortably in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath, dear friends. Observe your normal, natural in breath and the out breath for the whole duration. No forceful inhalation, no forceful exhalation. Observe your normal, natural in breath and the out breath, dear friends. Be with your breath. Become one with that in breath and the warm out breath, dear friends. Allow yourself to become empty slowly and slowly of all thoughts in your mind. Our goal is to empty the mind. Our goal is to merge into that greater emptiness, that quantum energy field. Be with your breath. Become one with that in breath and the out breath, dear friends. Allow yourself to merge into that intelligent, connected in breath and the out breath. When we observe our breath, our mind becomes slowly and slowly empty of all the thoughts. When the mind is empty, we experience that larger emptiness inside of us all around. We experience that energy inside this greater emptiness inside our body. Be with your breath. Become one with that in breath and the warm out breath. Allow yourself to observe your own natural rhythm of the breath and slowly let your mind become empty. As you are becoming one with your breath, allow yourself to slowly and slowly become empty of all the thoughts in your mind. And as the mind is empty, can you feel that emptiness inside your body? Become aware of that emptiness all around your body, occupying your room. Allow yourself to merge into that breath and slowly become empty of all thoughts in your mind. Become aware of that emptiness of no body, of no thing, in no place and no time, inside you, all around you. As you are becoming one with your breath, allow yourself to feel that emptiness of no body, no thing inside you. all around you. If you find yourself distracted, gently go back to observing your breath and slowly become empty of all thoughts. As you are merging into breath, allow yourself to experience that emptiness of no body, of no thing. Remember, we are less matter, more emptiness and energy. That's energy. All emptiness is energy. This is the quantum energy field with infinite possibilities and opportunities. Allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into that emptiness as no body, as no thing, and stay connected to the abundance of energies in this field. Everything you have ever experienced or will experience is here in this energy field. The longer we stay in this field of possibilities, the more we become of it, the more we receive from it. If you find yourself in thoughts, gently go back to observing your breath again. Allow yourself to experience this energy. Allow yourself to merge into this emptiness of no body, of nothing. This is the field of all creation. This is that quantum energy field. This is your greater mind, where everything is connected to everything else. The more we are empty, the more we are away from your body, our environment, and the past, the more we experience this quantum energy field of all possibilities. Stay aware of that emptiness as no body, as nothing. and stay connected into this energy field of healing, of mystic, of miracles, of empowerment, or whatever that you can become aware of. The longer we stay in this field of nobody, nothing, the more we experience everybody and everything, dear friends. The longer we stay in this field of nobody, nothing, no place, and no time, the more open to the new possibilities into our life. Go deeper and deeper into that emptiness and experience that energy field. Friends, let's express gratitude. Gratitude for living this beautiful life. Can you be grateful to your parents? Be grateful to your teachers and mentors. Be grateful to all the people in your life, your family, your friends, your relatives, your colleagues, everybody. Be grateful to all the things you use the places you go, your companies, your governments, the technology. Be grateful to this nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals, the stars and the planets. Be grateful to yourself and be grateful to the intelligent quantum energy field. Express gratitude to all things and everybody for being an integral part of our lives. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Relax your body. Feel your body. Relax yourself. And recollect your experience from the session.
We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world
How did you feel?
one heart at a time.
What have you experienced?
I see you,
What did you see?
know you, you're a part of me.
And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds,
We can change the
and then you may open your eyes.
one heart at a time. We can change the world. We can change the world one heart at a time. One heart at a time. I see you. I see you. I know you. I know you. You're a part of me. And my heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you.
Okay. More and more practice. In meditation, we lose a sense of time and space. So, time is past, space is environment, and the body. So, we slow down. When the time and space are out, then we completely slow down. So that's how the brain, as it loses the sense of time and space, it slows down from beta, high beta, beta, so it slows down to alpha, thetas, as it loses sense of time and space. So as we are relaxing in, let's understand as a precursor to emotional quotient, trying to bring up the slides about today's masterclass. Yes. Meditation and emotional intelligence, learning to doing to being. All our, whatever that we take in, whatever that we receive into our brain is going through these phases, learning to doing to being. That's really how the brain is learning. So before we, to understand this, let's understand this picture of brain, and it can be broadly divided into three areas: the learning brain, doing brain, and a being brain. In the spiritual words, conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. Not the medical term, the spiritual term, unconscious mind. Technical terms are neocortex, limbic brain or limbic system, reptile brain. The neocortex are this learning thinking brain, which is also this conscious mind. We've said is responsible for cognitive functions, learning, reasoning, decision making, language. An active experience that we seek is happening from this conscious mind. Like right now, what you're listening is through the conscious mind. So any sensory input will have to come in here from the environment, from our sensory organs. The inputs that come into this, they land into this neocortex. It is pretty big. Most of the brain is this whole area is all, whether you call that peach color, whatever, is all of this is this conscious mind or the neocortex, which is that frontal outside brain, which is also what humans have. Not many animals, where most of the animals have very small body versus head is small in comparison to humans, is because that this part of the brain is very least developed for them. Abstraction, logic, creativity, or doing things differently, a lot of that is not there for many of them, or it is there but very, very less. Whereas the second brain, which is the limbic, subconscious, is more emotional driven, more instincts, emotions. The emotional brain, which is also for us, is there, is of course there for many animals. Everything is there. Every animal has it. So this is driven by emotions. Our emotions in the body as a chemical end products or residues, and emotion, the experience of that emotion is stored, as the memory is stored in this part of the brain. Along with emotion, also what is stored here is this long-term memory. So any of our habits, our perceptions, behaviors, repetitive thoughts, they're all are stored here. Anything that's repeated becomes naturally a long-term memory, so it moves here. It can be about an experience, it can be just a redundant thought. For example, an experience would be that you had partied in the weekend. You partied hard, so there's a lot of things that have happened, right, which sort of make us remember it. Now, while you're partying, and then if you are someone who's regularly doing it, and so you also associate yesterday's experience with the previous partying experience, so you would have recollected previous party. You would perhaps would have spoken about it to quite a few your friends in that party. So you recollect and then you relive it. So by doing so, this concept of partying and an enjoyment as a pleasurable experience is recorded because you would have collected it, repeated it quite a few times, you've done it quite a few times, so it becomes it's stored in this brain as a long-term memory of partying, and then all the emotions associated with it are stored in this emotional area, amygdala, and then hippocampus, two areas within this limbic brain. But it needless to say that it is a long-term memory as well as emotions. Redundant thoughts could be without necessarily having any experience out of it, other than saying that if you are on a road, you're going through the downtown, then you suddenly start talking about, hey, look at this building has come up and this building is 12 stories, and then I don't know what is there, and then just talk about randomly about the building and the traffic in the downtown randomly. And then we just keep repeating it. So then it gets stored as a repetitive redundant thought. Every time now it is there as a long term. So every time the moment you are entering a downtown, suddenly those things come up, and you without even realizing, inwardly start talking about it, because the subconscious sends a signal that okay, as associates that a downtown buildings means that okay, you're going to talk about it. That's it. You're going to talk about it. And so it just comes up. Involuntarily that happens. It sends a signal neuropeptide to the mouth area so that they got to start talking. So repetitive thought, which we just put it there, then it is stored in the subconscious, and then we just involuntarily talk about it without our control. Like when you come onto the road and you're outside our home, we think about traffic without your control. If there is a signal out there which you experience enough that you just think about the signal all the time once you get there. So, friends, the being brain is an autopilot brain for us, the core autopilot, which is taking care of our, I mean, from a reptilian perspective, taking care of our heartbeat, blood circulation, cell biology, cell functions, all of that is being taken care by this. You and I don't even know that it's operating, right? We don't know, and then it always operating. When we are going into meditation, we are resting the body. So we are silencing our thinking brain. We're definitely working on our subconscious brain to see how to silence a little bit of it. We have no option, we have no control in this unconscious. It's just happening, it has to happen, it'll continue to happen. So whenever we're learning something, it's coming into this neocortex, and from there, that sensory inputs, whatever that comes into that area, whether it is auditory, whether it is visionary, whether it is about smell, so based on that, it lands into the specific area of this neocortex. And from that very sensory input, if it is first time it records it, But if it's already, then brain is so well organized, then it is, if it already has an associated memory about it for an experience of the past, like if it's about a dog that you see, then suddenly it can pull your memory from the past. It sends automatically a signal into this second brain to go and then access anything about the dog, and then you might start getting positive experiences, negative experiences by default, because we have focused so much on the negativity, so it might pull out all those negative things. Because why are you focused on negativity? We are focused on fear, survival, instinct. Many times we are survival. We've been pushed to think that is all survival. It's fear and survival are they're all part of the same. But with meditation, of course, we slowly change to a more love-based, pleasurable experience. So we start putting our attention onto the love-based experience as opposed to fear-based experiences. So the signal comes, and then it is retrieving the information about, when it is about dog, then suddenly if there's a long-term memory, immediately retrieve the information. And then that association of the retrieving the information about that memory, the moment it is fired, then automatically we start having an experience, because then it is recollecting an experience of the past, and then we start having an experience. Experience means we got to send a further signal by the subconscious, that emotional part of the brain, to it creates those various kinds of chemicals we talked about, neuropeptides. So if it is fearful, then it sends enough neuropeptides, will go and then create that cortisol. If it is pleasurable, if it's more of a fun filled, it's more of a dog coming in, where last time you recollect how you cared for a dog, then it's about compassion. So then it'll produce oxytocin, right? And ultimately it go in. So either way, there are different types of chemicals get produced. And then we start having that experience. Now, anything that we do more and more, from learning, anytime you're doing a repeated, it goes into this doing brain. It's called subconscious, long term. And then more you do, it becomes what we call it's in your blood. It becomes part of a cell memory. It goes into the cell memory, then automatically the cells behave that way, right? That's why many times we use the word, oh, it's part of their blood. That means they just do it. You don't have to tell them, they know it. So whatever we learn, it goes from this through, flows through. Once you learn, it's right, and this superficial, it is there in this thinking brain. You repeat it, goes into the subconscious, gets programmed there, and then further repetition, you automatically become of it, right? Just that driving is an example. Now, understand this a little bit more. Infinite potential of human brain. Our brain has 100 billion neurons. The neurons that you see here, these are all called, this is a neuron, this is a neuron, this is a neuron, this is a neuron. They're all neurons. And each neuron connects with the other neuron. It's called neural connection. So there is a brain has neurons and the neural connections. The connections are there. Okay. So all of these connections and neurons together is called neural network. So it's a neural network of things. And then how many each neuron can connect with the other neuron? Up to 100,000. 40,000 to 100,000 connections a neuron can make. Okay, these are all very micro small, right? They're so small. And the neurons are making connection with other neurons up to that much. Now, what is the significance of these connections? Every time connections are made, then it is equal to memory. Storing. It's storing the data. The memory, they are connected. That means it's storing. Suppose you are learning about meditation. So all our skills, all our whatever learning, it's all formed in the form of neural connections. If you're learning about meditation, then when you start knowing meditation means emptying the mind, it's observing a natural breath, and this happens, that happens, all that whole narrative, it's all of that is stored in a whole set of connections, which are all are organizing themselves as very interrelated. When you pull out one sentence, then automatically other sentence related information also starts pulling out. So they all are interrelated, they're all stored together in various connections, right? If the meditation is related to auditory, then it will also take some space from the auditory area of the brain. If it is with when you are learning about meditation, there are some nice aroma smells in that room, and then some wherever you learned, then it'll store some element of the smell area in that brain, wherever that is. All kinds of areas are there. So there are various parts of this experience that learning that you're doing is stored in different parts, but they're all connected. So one place you trigger off and it'll go and then pull out everything around it. That's the beauty of the brain, right? How it organizes itself. And now each neuron is connecting to another neuron, so many connections. So naturally, because storage is called memory, and so how much memory you have? Plenty, plenty of memory. Significant amount. There's not even there's limit to. Now, there is something significant here in terms of the learning. So the learning, whether you're learning as, we heard this phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. We heard this. That means if you store something as picture, visual, then it is, you can represent many things, right? We can easily remember. We say that I make it visual. So that's exactly what's happening. When you store something as text, as mere text, then it stores only in a few connections because it only requires few. But when you store something as visual, then it requires a lot of connections. All right. If you store something about Lawrence as just 3 lines, Lawrence is a very successful businesswoman and extremely compassionate and has started meditation to thousands of people. If that's the 3 sentences, it stores, say, 10,000 connections. But then we put a picture about Lawrence actually teaching meditation with a picture where a lot of children and then Lawrence is there teaching meditation. Along with it, we write the same 3 sentences. Then we associate with perhaps 1,000,000 connections. And we also associate that and say, oh, children meditating, okay, some kind of positive feeling. So we also associate that with it. So 1,000,000 connections. But then I actually made a movie, 1-minute movie of she actually teaching and she's actually making confident decisions in business and all of that put together, a 1-minute movie about her, and with only 3 lines of either background voiceover or some text written in the video. Still, it's the same 3 lines as given, but one is an experience that will probably stir 1,000,000,000 connections because feeling is involved in that movie. A lot of feeling is there. The experience, it's more experiential for us. We process so much information, store all of that. Now, what is the relevance here, dear friends? The relevance is that it's all about how much we can remember. That it all depends on how deeply we're learning. Text is normal. Visual is little deeper. Visual with experience, feelings is a lot more deeper learning. What is deeper learning? Storing with lots of connections. Why is it important? The more you have, the more capacity the brain use, the less you forget about it. The longer it records and stays. Right? We know it. If it's a feeling we experience it, then we stay it for a long time. When you watch a movie, we remember that scenes for a long time. Compared to if you had read all that story in a single storyline, you would have forgotten pretty quickly, isn't it? But a movie you remember a long time. Because why? Because you're going through an experience. So same thing. Easy to understand. If there are thousands, if cells are always dying, right? And so if there are 1,000 cells died, you read about Lawrence 3 lines text, or you see the picture, or you see the video. Exactly 2 hours later, you know that which one, if you had whoever has saw the video will remember exactly everything, right? Compared to the text. Because if let's say 1,000 cells have died between these 2 hours, 10% loss of information in case one. If 10% loss of information is there, you would definitely forget some part of it, right? For sure. Second one, insignificant. 1,000 out of million, insignificant. Third one, it doesn't even matter. 1,000 out of a billion. So, dear friends, so there is our ability to store. Now, why is it important in emotional intelligence? You want to wonder. Emotions are about when you're storing things in emotionally, you're storing experiences. When you are having that interaction with your colleague, not so good, pleasant, unpleasant interaction, argument. When you're questioning or your boss is questioning you or trying to bully you, the feeling that something that you're going through is stored in a lot of connections. And it doesn't stop there. Then we go from there during coffee break or during lunchtime, during tea time, we go and then start narrating the whole thing to another person. Now, the cells that fire together wire together. So, what's happening? So, you have this lot of neurons, our frontal brain collecting input and then storing whatever that comes. And learning is making a new connection, and recollecting is making the connection stronger. So now when you have that experience and then you go back to during coffee time and then you talk to direct to your friend, you're making it stronger. So without even realizing, you made that much stronger now in your brain. You go home, you talk about it, you made it even more stronger. Next morning you come into office and your manager tried to bulldoze you yesterday and the day before yesterday. Now the moment you see that person, it's coming back again. You feel, you recollect the whole experience, you feel some kind of stiffness, and you feel some kind of frustration or anger, and then you want to give it back in some way. You're looking for an opportunity. That's the feeling. And so automatically you're recollecting the whole thing, so making it even more stronger. The more stronger you make it, that friends, then the more it is going into the subconscious, and so the more it's going to project. Because remember, 95% of what we live are subconscious projecting. So what do we got? We got all these experiences that are going in and being projected. If it is positive, it's the same thing. The more you can relive a positive experience again and again, the more you're making it stronger. So the more you project and then try to get the same of it. Right? Try to get the same of it. So we got to be conscious of how we are, what we are taking in, what we are repeating. So learning to doing, and then over a period when you do it, then you become that. You generally become very fearful, generally become very angry every time you see a manager because we become of it by default, right? Turn to your person or just write type a message. So far, what you learned. Type the message of what you learned. A few points about it. Send a message to your friend or something in your WhatsApp group. This is just a recollect. So far, what we learned. Just applying the same principle. When you recollect, you're firing the connection, so you have increased the chances of storing what we're learning right now. Okay, that's great. So now, for a moment, let's understand this. Our life is full of various experiences, the traffic jam, that people who cut into our, as you're driving in, people who cut in aggressively into our lanes. We go in, we have these nasty colleagues. Of course, we have these tough bosses, right? And, ever painful or, ever critic, either spouse or in laws, whatever that is, right? We always have all kinds of people around. And everything is an experience which we are repeating knowingly, unknowingly. Now, so let's take in this case of that colleague who is being, or the manager who is bullying. And so next time we see, we want to give it back. But suppose in parallel, you're also learning about forgiveness, you're reading about forgiveness, you understand gratitude, forgiveness and gratitude. And so when you like it, you listen to this class and we are saying that hey, gratitude is a great way to become one. The way to do that is to forgive no matter what others have done to you, because you recognize that they're ignorant of what they're doing. They're trying to control you, so but they're ignorant. But just because they're trying to say something to you, you're not going to become of it. So you understand that okay, their words are they going to take it back, so you're getting hurt out. So you start understanding forgiveness, and as a result, you're trying to practice forgiveness or gratitude. So you like it, you're practicing at home with people at home, with friends, and so you share your experience with the friends. The friend is also likes it because you're sharing something nice, and then they also go and implement. They come back with their stories. So you're exchanging notes, and slowly your learning about forgiveness is increasing. First time you learn it, it goes through the same process. Second time you implement it, you recollect that experience so that you stores it. Third time your friend tells you, you store it. Likewise, you also have another circuit installed about forgiveness in your brain, because there are new set of neural connections that are formed, which is becoming thicker and thicker and thicker. Every time more connections are formed. So, in a situation next time when you're walking into your office and when you see this manager who is trying to bully you, where otherwise a frustrating outburst that you're about to make onto him or her, suddenly you'll get a spark about this forgiveness, a spark about this concept of forgiveness, and then suddenly your brain is telling you, hey, you got another option right now. You can be just bursting it out, or you can actually be forgive, and you can just take that another option, because the brain somewhere the spark comes. So meditation is that spark. Meditation is increasing our awareness, and so it's giving us an option to look at and say, can I do some other response as opposed to this typical angry outburst versus a forgiveness option. So meditation suddenly helps you bring up that spark, and all it requires is that spark once. When the moment you get that spark to your friends once, and then the moment you build on to that thought, and then the way brain is taking out, and then immediately it pulls your friend's experience or your experience with your peer people at home and your in-laws, your friend's experience about where he's used it in office. So it suddenly collects all these various experiences that you heard about it, and then your brain lights up significantly. So slowly your response, where you're building up a response of outburst, now slowly is going away, and then now you're building up a response of forgiveness in the situation, and it becomes so bigger that you start now suddenly respond with forgiveness as opposed to outburst. So you just fired a new circuits of forgiveness where you didn't fire the angry outburst circuit. So use it or lose it. So you don't use it, you start losing the anger outburst circuit there, and then cells that wire together fire together. I mean, cells that fire together wire together. So you make it stronger here. One becomes weaker, another becomes stronger. Another thing that happens with meditation, dear friends, is that meditation is helping to to make this brain neuroplasticity. So it helps you to connect faster, stronger with new connections, because it creates that glue that is in great supply. So meditation is helping you to latch on to this information, makes it stronger connections. It gives you the spark and makes this connection stronger. Whereas these things that are not fired are getting weaker. One time you do it, you're happy. You gave forgiveness response to your nasty boss. Is it sufficient? You know that it's not sufficient. If that was the case, none of us would be actually having any kind of bad relationship. It's not sufficient because it is so strongly stored, that connections, because we learned it. Learning to doing becomes stronger. And then you do this a second time. Once time you do it, then you got a little stronger installed circuit. Then again the spark. Next time when you get an opportunity, meditation is helping you, because you got to continue the meditation, helping you to give one more spark again next time. So this time you're doing even more better response. Third time you get one more spark, and this time you are trying to have a conversation, a friendly conversation, and look, what's the problem? First time is just being neutral. Second time we start having conversations. So as we practice, dear friends, so each time we're practicing, we learned it about forgiveness, then we practice about it a second time. So as we do it, it's called doing. You keep doing, 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 and you're getting better at it, better at it. Every time you do it, you get better at it because subconsciously it's going there. So subconscious keep projecting for you faster than what it was otherwise, because it's stronger and stronger. It keeps projecting more, 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 and more when you get into those situations next time, right? So doing, and the more you do, dear friends, and at some point you have to become of it. You become forgiveness. It's not something you do out of an act. It's there by default. It doesn't matter how nasty somebody can be. It doesn't matter how bad they can be, but you are forgiveness at that point. So, dear friends, when we are something, we allow others to have the same thing. We are so deep about it that it doesn't matter, then we just naturally allowing others to have it. We do any extent to talk about, any extent to give it to others. That's the time we can allow others to. Naturally, we do it. So this is a clear understanding of this is how our brain is learning. So we have to understand that where are we, what are we repeating? All relationships, they are about interactions, about these emotions. And what are we repeating? And can meditation help? And absolutely. Meditation is there, it is that spark. That single spark is helping us to choose this response or that response. Simple. Thank you very much, dear friends. Always good to understand. Building upon this, we will go and understand on Wednesday. Lawrence will take the session of what this emotional intelligence is, or those 5 things, and how it might take more sessions or understand it in detail, and how meditation is helping us to from a poor relationships to actually enhance the relationships, to create lots of friendships, and actually become a natural leader to lead from nobody to you actually become a leader to lead and expand our experience of life, whether it is a business, whether it is a home, whether it is a friendship circle, about a community project, but to keep expanding to do something larger and larger. Thank you very much for your time. Lawrence, your comments.
Thank you, Chandra. For everyone, these are extremely strong foundation to continuously understand that you can change as long as you practice meditation and become more and more aware of what you are doing, what you are feeling, or what you want to not do anymore or not feel anymore. This is really critical for all of us to understand what is going on in our brain and our, neurologic system and the body and mind. Emotional intelligence, when you can develop it, master it, understand it, and share it, is probably one of the most beautiful gifts of meditation. You're going to build a stronger, long-lasting, enjoyable relationship. And to answer one of the questions that was in the chat, it doesn't mean that you become naive. And as Chandra was talking about forgiveness is about also not wasting your energy in something that is already gone, but it's also a way to learn and be probably more mindful going forward on specific situations. So we don't mix both of them. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting everything as they come. It's about learning and being stronger. So thanks a lot, Chandra. This was wonderful, and we will be there for the questions as usual. And I wish everybody a wonderful evening, a wonderful afternoon or day, and again, practice and practice.
Thank you. We have Dr. Chandana's, I would like to hear Dr. Chandana's response.
Thank you, Chandra, sir. Beautifully explained with how you can increase your emotional intelligence. And I think that's one of the key aspects that's so important in leaders today. And I love the way that you said the last sentence, because in today's world, more than ever, we're relying on interdisciplinary teams to work with one another. And that's not only in like one field, such as healthcare, but that's also in the IT, that's also in so many fields where you're now talking to people in other countries more than ever. So understanding that emotional intelligence is so, so important. And it's really awesome that you're breaking this down and explaining it in a way that everyone can understand it and understand how to develop that. So, it's just a small example, but yesterday I was driving on a road and there was a divider that came up. And it's a split second where you have to make a decision. Do I change the lane or do I go forward? I decided to change the lane, but after I did that, I was like, let's not do that again, because that's a cause for an accident, right? So like you said, it's that pause, giving that pause after an action and thinking, what should my action be? So I think meditation definitely gives us that power to, in the moment, say, what should I decide to do right now? Whereas before, it would have just been an instinctual response. Now you become more aware of what you should say and how you can better relate to the other person. So that's my understanding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's exactly how it's working. Meditation is always giving us that moment of that spark. It's giving us that spark of taking another response. That's why I started off with the knowledge is precursor to experience. If we didn't learn about forgiveness, we didn't know that response can be taken. So we have to read, we have to expand. We have to expand and read our knowledge. The right knowledge, when you keep expanding, naturally we are expanding and then living off of that. Right.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Beautifully said.
Thank you. That's great. All right. Yes. So thank you all. Have a great day. We'll meet back tomorrow. So tomorrow is professional experience sharing. So we're listening from some exciting experiences every time we're bringing in where the real life transformation experiences for people. So we're going to listen to that tomorrow again. So have a great day. Thank you.